Why do you think that continues to be a terror target and a hotbed for terror residents?
Well, you know, our hearts go out to the families again affected, and it is a repeat. We're not learning our lessons. The West is not learning that if we don't treat the disease, the cancer will keep unroofing itself. And Molenbeek, where this person was found, I mean, unbelievable that this person was found only a few doors, a few houses away from where his family was. So
sure.
There's no way he was hiding there unless the entire community was involved. And let me use an analogy. If you think of the ISIS attackers as being those wearing the jerseys, carrying the arms and the militancy, there is a field of those not only wearing the military uniform, but those wearing the jersey in the stadiums. And unfortunately, within these communities, concentrated jihadi central, as the Interior Minister called it, the Guardian has called Molenbeek jihadi central. You have imams and others radicalize them. It's not just about economics, it's about Islamo-patriotism, it's about hate of the West, anti-Semitism, conspiracy theories. Even when they went to get Abdus Salam earlier this week, there were some throwing rocks at the police, calling him a hero, etc. So the bottom line is that there is a growing circles of influence outside of the terror cells. There are supporting networks, and then once they catch one, the other networks will become operationalized, because before they get caught, they want to go out and on their way to heaven commit some radical act of terror so that they can say that they were operationally successful as jihadis.
So what do we do about that? I mean, we sit back and we watch this happening. How do we go into these communities and fight what's happening there?
This is where we need to thread the needle. On the one hand, demand that Muslim communities come clean, be transparent, and begin to be part of solving the problem. Not only the terror problem, but say we are countering violent Islamism, political Islam, which is a separatist ideology, not just the terror militancy, but the ideology. And then say, you know what, not only are we going to engage them, expect them to come clean, but we're going to believe and embody the fact that they are part of the solution, that they're not only part of the problem, but they need to begin counter-radicalization and begin to expose what their imams, what their leaders are teaching within the communities about the very countries they live in and prosper in.
You know what, Dr. Zasser, that makes perfect sense. Why haven't they done it?
Because the communities around them have been so much about Muslims being victims, about this so-called Islamophobia. They're ignoring the fact that in Brussels you have 600,000 Muslims in a population of 11 million, where you had 1 out of 1,000, 600 that went to Syria. You had 130 from Molenbeek itself, and yet no problem, see no evil, hear no evil, nothing's happening. We don't have an issue, it's just a few one-offs. They call them lone wolves. It's not lone wolves. This is an endemic ideological separatism between the Islamist way and the Western way of freedom. And listen, Molenbeek not only is related to the Paris attacks from November 13th, there was an attack on a Jewish museum in 2014, there was connection to Charlie Hebdo. I mean, how many lessons do we need until we realize that we need to put some fire under the feet of Muslim communities to begin to reform the ideas creating this issue?
You know, they're already on their termed highest alert, orange alert, number 4, whatever it is. They've been doing that for months, and still they were unable to stop it. You know, I'm also wondering, too, as you try to find out about Abdul Salam, and he is talking, that he evidently backed out of his stadium hit. He was going to be a suicide bomber there, and he decided to do something else. I'm also wondering, yeah, what does that mean? I mean, I guess he got cold feet, or maybe he had a conscience. Who knows? But you know, one thing will lead to another. Logic would tell you that maybe the pressure was getting so great because they knew he was talking that that cell thought they had to hit now or get arrested or just give it up.
Yeah, we just had a defector that reported to Sky News something like 5,000–10,000 jihadis in Europe that were on a disc that he revealed to security services. So Abdus Salam might have had cold feet, or he may have said, you know what, let me see if I can go back home, freely move in the EU between Paris and Belgium, and try to coalesce another group to continue to act, be a part of further acts of terror to help ISIS back inspirationally as it would be. And I don't know if necessarily it's cold feet or simply wanting to continue the operations as al-Baghdadi called for.
What went through your mind this morning when you woke up and you saw what was happening?
You know, I can't tell you enough how horrified I am, not only as an American, but as a Muslim, that we are not treating this disease. You know, I'm a physician, and as a doctor, I know we can't You know, you can't cure symptoms unless you treat the disease, and I'm reminded again that we're not treating the disease, we're just pushing it under the carpet. We are in denial, and until our community in the West begins to address the ideologies of these imams, of these communities that are anti-Western, that are feeding off of us in a parasitic way without assimilating into our ideas, you know, I woke up thinking to myself, God, not again. We're not dealing with the problem, and we have to begin to address it as one united community in
And
the
it's
West.
got to come from the people, Dr. Jasser, in the Muslim community, I guess, first. But I want you to stay right there because we're going to bring in Catherine Herridge. Earlier was